Luke John Harrison here. Welcome to episode 103 of the Daily Boom. So, I'd like to talk to you about quite a serious subject today. I'm all for having a laugh, but sometimes we have to tell the truth. And it's why most men are insecure and angry. This is coming from a former very angry man, very insecure man. The type of man who would worry that his ex-partners would leave him constantly. The type of man who would fear that he could lose control all the time with drink, drugs, women, if you will. The type of man who was scared to walk through groups of people. Anxiety, fear, overwhelm. The kind of stuff that us men don't talk about. And here's the thing, a lot of men are insecure because of the fact we don't talk about our problems, we don't talk about what we've been through, because we have this sense of ego. And for a man, it's hard to admit when you're going through issues, it's hard to admit when you've been through troubles. Because especially, you're always worried about what others think. You don't look hard to the lads, you don't look tough anymore when you show vulnerability. But let's put it this way, when you don't show that stuff, when you don't let it out, when you don't have a release, if you will, like a talking release or a physical release, and it was through exercise or something positive like meditation or whatever, then you get angry. You get angry because you can't accept how you are. You can't accept that you are insecure. You can't accept that it's... And it almost feels as if you're alone and you don't want to ever show your vulnerability. And what does this lead to? Anxiety, depression, overwhelm, all this fear. There's a lot of pressure on men, right? I know there's pressure on women to look a certain way with body shapes and the media and stuff like that and all that stuff. But for men, I think there's a pressure to look tough. There's a pressure to, be always constantly doing, pushing forward, never showing weakness. But there's nothing wrong with weakness. There's nothing wrong with admitting you've been through struggle, through fear. Nothing wrong with admitting you've done wrong in the past. There's nothing wrong with admitting you've cheated on ex-partners if you have. You learn from it. You be honest. That was me. There's some truth for you. That was me. But I'm man enough to say, hey, you know what? I'm an adult. I've made some mistakes. The thing is, when it comes to anger, how do men release anger? Through violence, through violent sports. Why do you think MMA and boxing is so popular now? Because people like to see people fight. In fact, just yesterday, I was in South Shields in the town, and there was a man punching a woman. Punched this woman and knocked her to the floor. It was fucking horrendous. Like, how angry that guy must have been? But we don't know what goes on in people's heads. And the fact is, we are mostly as a society angry. You notice it when you walk about. People are edgy, they're looking at you. You notice if you look at a guy for too long, they'll be like, what are you looking at, kind of thing. Or if you're driving in a car and maybe you cut somebody off by accident or they cut you off or whatever, you react very aggressively, and it's all aggression. The world is an angry place. I remember somebody telling me yesterday, a good friend of mine, that when she was in her old house, her neighbours used to make the kids box each other, brother and sister. Like, what the fuck? We're teaching kids through violence? Maybe you were brought up that way. Maybe you were brought up in, the thing is for me with violent sports, right? I'm a wrestling fan, right? I've got no shame in admitting that. I love wrestling. I love the entertainment value. But I know that they like each other behind the scenes. I know it's fake. But it's fun. It's entertaining. Don't get me wrong, I like contact sports. I like watching boxing and MMA from time to time because I appreciate the athletic side of it. I appreciate the determination and the training, the skill, the technique, the way they use the body. What I don't like is the aggression in it. The aggression and the ego side of it, on who's better, who's stronger, who's harder, who's the best. And as a man, we get insecure because we compare to all this stuff. And it's all about ego boosting. Hey, let me tell you, there's no bigger ego boost than being comfortable with who you are and being able to share your insecurities and say, hey, I fucked off sometime. There's not much more ego boosting than to live with a lot of integrity. That is so much more important than how you look to others. And I know as a guy, there is a lot of pressure on you. There's a lot of pressure. I'm sitting here sweating. I've just worked out this morning and I don't work out for necessarily ego reasons, although it does help. But what I work out for is to keep smart in here. I work out because I don't feel aggressive. But before I work out, and if I don't work out, I do feel angry with myself mostly. And that gets represented in the snappiness that I can have. That gets represented in my choices. I'll tend to eat convenience or shit food quicker if I don't work out. I use this as a release. And I think us as men need that release in one form or another. Exercise is great. Meditation, relaxing is great. But you know what is the biggest release first? Is being fucking honest. And what I want you to do is share this video, please, with any men that need to see this video. If you have a partner who is ratty and angry and not treating you well, share this video. Please help some men which might need to hear these words. Peace out. I'll be back tomorrow morning. Have a great day, guys.